permit approving that the fence go up to that point, well, that's something I doubt very much that people can provide that. So if we cannot provide that, they are in violation. So why should we can, yeah, like, we could maybe help them financially, not or legal. I don't think we should do that.
My only concern was that I wanted to treat these people the same way because there are such differing stories as to some people got approval from ARC, some people didn't hear from ARC, somebody just got approval in the November meeting from ARC. And I don't think, personally, that it's fair to make that a person. They just paid, even if they didn't get initial approval, but I understand your point. What do you keep going down?
My thought on it is that from what's being presented to us right now without hearing from ARC, that the HOA ARC committee made an improper decision, but yet the homeowner's got some responsibility and due diligence on their end as well. Rather than the HOA paying 100% of this, but why not maybe be fair about it and the HOA say, hey, we're going to pick up 50%, the homeowner pick up 50% and get going, get it resolved, since there is some neglect or some mistakes made on both ends of the fence on this, so to speak. Not to use, no pun intended.
My thinking was, again, in the motion is that we authorize the management company to get a bid, because if we're talking about a $3,000 issue to do the fences, that's one thing. If we're talking about a $10,000 issue, it's a wholly different story.
Oh, so the motion is just for bid?
That's just so everybody's clear. The motion on the floor, just so everybody's clear, is that the motion is based on the meetings that we've had in the past dealing. The motion is to have the management company come back to us 2 weeks from now at the meeting to give us a bid and a recommendation so that we can evaluate and make a decision financially how to deal with it. I think the percentage issues, we can deal with those later on. But for right now, I just want to authorize the management company to get bids. But I want to have this board's approval to do that based on the fact that we have some people with what legally we would call very clean hands, and some people that don't have clean hands. And I just think we are going to have difficulty treating them differently, and so does our legal counsel. So we need to find a non-discretionary fix, resolution for it. Yes, Francine.
All right, so I just would make sure you're taking out the part that says that we would pay for it at this point. Okay. Okay. And
That's
also,
correct.
I do kind of support what Eric says, because ultimately you can have whatever you want from the ARC, but if you didn't get the permit, as you're supposed to, it's still an illegal fence according to the county.
Okay. Thank you. Jose, anything? No. Okay.
People have to understand, when you're extending your fence all the way out to the property line, the association also incurs liability. If somebody gets hurt on that piece of land,
Potential
it's
liability.
it's a potential liability. Because you're enclosing that area. So there's a liability issue and the landscaping issue. So many of the landscapers have had such a difficult time going into that property and trying to cut the grass. So I definitely feel that that you're on the right track, and I do feel that just to do it right, that to pay for it is also going on the right track.
And again, the reason why I think it's important is that this board didn't cause the problem, but it is our job to fix the problem.
To fix the problem.
And again, maybe problem isn't the right word, because it really isn't a problem. It's an issue that I don't think, from a legal standpoint, anybody will dispute that the property that's being used is not the owner's property, it's the HOA's property. So that's why this issue came up, but it also came up because the county has approached it.
I don't think
the
old board caused it either. I think the ARC committee caused it.
Well, without saying who caused it or what the issue is, at the end of the day, I think we have a duty to fix it.
We're not only moving the fence, we're adding a fence on the back, because there is no fence right now.
Some of them, that's correct. That's correct. Yeah, in other words, these properties that go back, what's going to happen is that we're going to have a contractor, and again, it'll be up to the contractor how to do it, but my understanding is that they're going like this. They're taking the existing fence so it's matching, and then they're going to fill in with new fencing. And so hopefully these bids will be reasonable. What is going to need to be looked at by the management company and the contractors is that some of the folks have amenities and items that are on the HOA property that cannot be on the HOA property. So we need to address those issues and we need to look at that. But hopefully, those are not movable, those are movable objects and things of that nature. So for right now, I think for right now that we have to get bids from the contractor or contractors so that we can have an understanding of the financial amount we're talking about here. Right.
I just have one other point about us going out and getting this information. Since, chances are really good that we may not be doing this work. Is it really fair for the HOA to come back and say, oh, you need to use this contractor when they may in fact be able to do cheaper themselves?
Well, yeah.
And
I
are they
guess
get it done within a certain period of time, or are we gonna go after, you understand what I'm saying?
I do, but I think the problem with enforcing any penalty mechanisms against any of these folks, again, some of whom just, as of last month, just put in 50-inch gates based on park approval. I mean, that doesn't, in my opinion, warrant penalty. So
No,
some
but
people would need to be treated differently. So all I'm saying is that the motion is to go out and get bids and find out what the universe is that we're dealing with. And I think we need to do that, and that was the motion that was made. So,
Can I just answer that one thing? I just
Sure.
want to address the 50-inch gate. Because if they did install it, couldn't that gate be used to put on the back end of that fence so that
That's
when
what
they
the
bring it in?
contractor's gonna tell
So
us.
that really would be an additional expense for them.
well, that's what the contractor is gonna tell us.
Okay.
That's what the contractor.
Thank you.
Okay, let me start taking some comments about this, that is an important issue.
Those properties that don't have fences are utilizing that area now.
What?
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
Yeah, but it's available for everybody.
It's available, it's accessible. That's right. Yes. Yes, ma'am, in the back. Thank you for your patience and waiting.
That's okay. I have a permit with the survey from the county for my fence, so do I bring it to your house?
Yes, or you can email it to me, or you can get it to Christine, and Christine will get it to me. That's probably the easiest way.
I'd rather bring it to you.
Okay, that's great.
But can I ask you a question? When did you get that?
We moved in 2012.
So in 2012, the county gave you a permit?
Yes, they did.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay.
Great information.
And again, just out of curiosity, the permit was closed?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Okay, so we'll look at it when you provide it, because I do want to go to the county and talk to Ms. Bobby Boynton, who's been dealing with this issue in this neighborhood. Are you in Greenwood?
Yes.
Okay, so again, that's how the issue came up, was the county had said that they would not issue permits for fences in the
Well,
HOA.
we deal with the county on a daily basis, and they tell you a lot of things.
Okay, well, we're going to find out. Well, most importantly, and Christine, correct me if I'm wrong, we have a survey, a recently done survey in Greenwood of all the properties or just some?
Just so.
Okay, so we'll need to look at that issue, because again, we want to make sure that the fences are on the property lines, so we'll need to look at that issue. Yes, sir?
We moved in a little over 4.5 months ago, and the fence was there. So there it is.
Right, I understand. And that's, again, that's part of why I want the management company to get bids to understand what the amount is, because again, there are folks that just bought.
In fact, our realtor said, look at, you got lawn in the back, and some area behind the pool, we're like, great.
Understood. I mean, I guess
On
when
the
it
estoppel,
when
it
it comes,
said that fence had to be fixed on the estoppel.
well, look, not to get into legal issues,
I'm just
but
saying,
back and forth,
that, you
but
know, we have violations.
understandably, what's gonna happen is that at the end of the day, the surveys will tell the tale, and we are gonna get the county involved.
And when we asked, we were told,
So not to have cross discussion in the midst of the
So
meeting,
I do
but
want to say,
did you
we're
have
the
a
ones
comment?
that just put our gates in. It
Yes,
cost us
ma'am.
$750. We did it as soon as we were told.
I understand.
As soon as we were told.
I
And
understand.
You can't just grab old fence and shove it. This would actually cost more for them to pull it up with the cement and move it where it needs to be. So that is not, but if this goes as far as, obviously everybody wants it to go, we want to be reimbursed for that $750 because it'll be over $1,500 to put in that portion of the fence.
Well,
And pull up the whole.
sure. What I've asked through my motion is to get bids for the amounts. And I do understand, you're not having a discussion side of this. I do understand that the ARC just approved your application in November and that you took action based on it. That will absolutely be considered in terms of writing this issue and financial responsibility. And that will be dealt with at the next meeting. Because that's an example of where I'm saying people have taken action in reliance on the ARC's rulings recently. And we have to deal with that. This board has a duty to clean up this issue and do the right thing. And that's what we're going to do. At least that's what I'm going to try to do, the right thing. Anybody else have any questions? Further questions? Yes, sir.
I just have a comment. I'm on the committee. I'm not aware of the committee approving any extension of fencing across common area property. In fact, we brought this to the attention of the board several years ago that we had discovered this problem.
I understand. This is the exact reason why we have to come up with a fix that deals with this in a way that is respectful of owners who have just spent their hard-earned dollars addressing an issue, who may have gotten county approval based on documentation that we haven't had a chance to review. That's the exact reason why it's most likely going to be my position that we need to pay to fix this mess. So, but that's for next meeting. But for right now, okay, I'm going to close the discussion, and I'm going to call the question. Again, the motion is to authorize the management company to solicit and receive bids from contractors to move these fences to the property owner's property line and off the HOA common area, and to report those bids with a recommendation at the next meeting, which is approximately 2 weeks from now.
I'll say that.
Again, I seconded it.
Okay,
And,
so all those in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. Any against? Okay, thank you. Motion carries unanimously. Okay, and that, we're going to adjourn the meeting. Sorry, we're 35 minutes late for the hearing. Thank you, everyone.